Welcome to the Trailer Island podcast. It's another Wednesday, and here we are on the island. It's a beautiful sunny day, and we've got lots
outside.
We're outside, lovely fun things to talk about.
I'm getting sunburnt, but it's okay.
You're a crispy reflection of yourself, that's for sure.
We're not socially distancing at all, so that's nice.
Oh, you don't need to socially distance when you're possibly the only ones on the island. Oh, wait, no, but we've established that there are other people on the island, but we've never met them. Is that right? What's the canon of the island?
Sometimes when I think I see people in the distance, I think they're there, but then they disappear and I get a blood nose.
All I know is that you can't catch chickenpox twice. We've already had it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So, we are the Trailer Island podcast. I'm Alex, and I'm joined by
Matthew.
Steve.
And we talk about films and their trailers. Did the film deliver what the trailer promised? And this week, we are doing a film on Netflix that's like a film project home movie making musical comedy extravaganza confusion.
Our first stand-up special-ish, is it? Adjacent?
Yeah, it's like a...
I laughed.
It's a Netflix comedy special, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
But
so.
it is...
It's also not very funny in places.
It's a bit dark and challenging to say the
Challenging
least.
is a good word
bit
for
of
it.
happy music? How long before your Netflix special, Matthew, when you do musical funniness?
Well, I've been told that first you need to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on that. Baby steps.
And then the musical bit?
Then the musical bits. And then mastering the language as well, because as you guys would be well aware, I can't really talk properly, so I need to work on that.
This did inspire me to write a funny song, and I wrote it, and then I read it out loud and decided to destroy my own career when it came to this in the future. So you will never be hearing me doing musical comedy.
It's a shame.
That's entirely disappointing. I was really hoping that... I mean, you're currently surrounded by a keyboard and a guitar, and I was really hoping for something.
I play that music live every time that it comes on. Actually,
Now that is copyright infringement, my friend.
Yeah, I did that.
No, that is original theme tune sung and performed by Matthew. There are lyrics to the Trailer Island song. We just don't know what they are.
We haven't had permission from the Australian government yet to actually publish those.
That's right, yes.
But we hope.
In some languages, what Matt wrote is considered a hate crime.
Yes. And also not factually correct.
No, this is true.
Your thoughts on anthropology are very confusing.
Look, I'll buy you a beer one day and I will walk you through it and it'll make sense.
Okay. Now, talking about copyright infringement, we're going to play the trailer for this. Well, it's sort of like a teaser clip. I don't know that I could find an official trailer of sorts, but in playing the teaser, if you're listening to this in the future and you don't hear the trailer, we've had a copyright strike. If you hear it, then we haven't been copyrighted yet. So, it's a good thing.
We've done well so far.
So far, so good.
Really, it's Bo's own fault for not putting out a trailer. An official trailer.
Why not? Well, Steve, you mentioned the name of the part of the thingy with the thing. So would you like to introduce... I mean, you introduced last week. Yeah, fair enough.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
This week we are doing Bo Burnham Inside. Well, that was pretty succinct, wasn't it?
That didn't give away a lot at all, did it?
No, it isn't like Bo Burnham he's a stand-up comedian. I think we should establish if we haven't already. I can't remember. My mind is going. He has a couple of stand-up comedy gigs on Netflix already. So I think the idea is that trailer is just him and he's much like, I guess, a Bill Bailey. He does a lot of music in his comedy, that kind of thing. So I guess that trailer is just going. Is kind of hoping people already know who he is and going, look, but he's in a different setting, and then a door closes.
I think that's trying to allude to Corona lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, that is very much the heavy theme of this. Well, it's a film. It's a film?
I'd say it's a film.
I call it a comedy special.
Yeah, but that's the thing is he's gone into lockdown in very early 2020 when it all happened, and he decides to make this comedy film of a variety of different songs and jokes, all contained within one room. Like that's the one setting of this movie. Is this
and
one
he
room.
has shot it himself. He's lit it himself. As best as I know, he's edited it all of himself. If you look at the credits, there's a very small list of people that have basically added some post-production to it.
Yeah.
But most of this is his creation. And when you watch this film, you can see that for what is is it an hour long or is it 90 minutes?
I think it was about an hour and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty long.
For
this kind of thing, at least.
To do this by yourself for a year, as we see portrayed in the film, that he goes through some mental challenges, that is very clear and apparent, because this is a labor of love.
Excuse me.
Leave that in.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is again. I didn't watch that trailer.
No, it's
Word of mouth was the real trailer for this special.
Well, typically with a comedy special on Netflix, they are performing in front of an audience. They're on stage and they've put up, half a dozen cameras. They film the performance multiple times. They edit the best bits together, and that is the special that you can then watch at home. In this case, he's produced this over a year when you can't have an audience, particularly in the States. I think we probably had it a lot easier in Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Comparatively, but for them, it was a very different experience in the States. Now, he's put this together, and you can see the change over the 90 minutes that we're watching this, that he's had this idea, and there's a lot of funny stuff in it.
Yeah, there are moments where I was legitimately laughing. Again, I think this is what a large part of our conversation will be, is, to use the cliche, it's a bit of a roller coaster when you go from genuine hilarity to him looking genuinely quite upset at times. And again, you're not sure if this is real or anything. I guess we'll just give him the benefit of the doubt and suggest that these are real moments of introspection from him. But yeah, it gets pretty confronting in places. I actually found it a fairly difficult watch.
Well, if you compare it to the trailer, now the trailer starts, well, in that teaser, as it were, starts with the end of one of his other specials, but then it cuts to him staring out of a slightly open door, looking very disheveled, looking very Tom Hanks Castaway. A bit of a mess. He's a mess.
Yeah.
At this point.
It feels like Netflix went up to him without like knowing that Corona was going to hit, and they said to Bo, "Okay, here's a lump sum of money. Do a special. Be creative." And he's just like, Corona's hit, and he's gone, how do I be creative now? That's such like a burdenful like brief. That's be creative.
This could have been cut in a way that you don't see. This could have been done in a completely different way where you don't see the mental anguish that's involved in making something like this.
Yeah, it could just be from one song to another. It's odd going from a song to moments of silence for like 20 seconds of him just walking around the room and not looking too happy with himself or that kind of thing. It throws a lot of themes around as well.
Yeah.
I found. And I think that maybe that's the point, and I think that's maybe why they've done it is, I think it's fair to say that just from taking at face value what we see in this movie, he got through the lockdown okay compared to other people. And I think maybe it's acknowledging that some people are in worse situations, perhaps. I'm just putting the idea out there, but maybe that's the whole point of the movie, is to acknowledge for some people it was really tough.
This is the sort of, it's just going to sound so elitist of us, but we don't know, because here in our country we weren't really Matt, you're in lockdown for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I, that's the thing, is I was so lucky to be in a situation where I live in a house by myself.
Yeah.
So I could literally go anywhere in the house, going to the garden, I was not restricted within my own house. I mean, if you're a family of 5 and one person has to isolate, that you isolate in your bedroom, that's so difficult.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go to the bathroom? Like, does your whole family have to isolate? It's fraught with danger. So for me, in that 2 weeks, my experience was I just watched lots of movies and played video games and played guitar and did a few recordings. Not to the extent that he's done, obviously, but I was fine.
We don't have that empathy though.
We
don't know what he experienced. Like we all, I mean, our roster might have changed a little bit, but we all got up and went to work, came home, and we didn't really experience anything too different, out of the ordinary.
No, I was still catching the bus. I mean, there were weeks where I drove instead, but yeah, for the most part, I caught the bus.
There might have been like days or even like a week or so where this sort of loneliness might have been turned up for us, but it wasn't by much. It wasn't being isolated in our houses for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for this extended period of time. So it's fascinating to sort of look in on this via plexiglass. I definitely can't. I can't empathize with it. I sympathize with it.
I'm definitely with you. And I think because of that reason, I found myself asking questions, and I haven't researched this, but questions like, did he stay in that one room for the whole 12 months? Because it looks like a granny flat, because the door's even too small. Like, it looks like a smaller door. It looks like a little granny flat you'd have in your garden. So I was like, did he stay? And I don't know, and I feel like I need to know that one fact to appreciate. If that is the case, I appreciate the film a lot. If he was just going in there to do recording but then spending the nights elsewhere, it's like maybe you've been pushing this performance maybe a bit far, perhaps.
Well, he pulls out a pull-out bed.
He does, but we don't know if that's accurate. I'm just I'm just saying it could just be. I needed to know it. Needed to confirm to me that was a situation he was in for me to fully be able to judge. Or not judge, but appreciate what he was going through. Because I don't know if he was just putting it on, if it's a performance, or if he was trapped in that room for 12 months.
I think either way, there is going to be hyperbole.
Yeah.
For the sake of artistry. I don't know. Again, it's a question of what percentage of this special is hyperbole and what's really super genuine. But, I mean, we talk about that space, and throughout the special, he does some amazing things with pretty ordinary space.
Yeah, the lighting and projection is incredible.
So, let's talk about that a bit, because that is where things get very impressive, is that he's in full control of the lights, the sound, the video, and it is an excellent study of use of multiple media in a stage medium, because he's got projected video, he's got lights, multicolored lights. He's got, props.
Smoke machines.
There's a whole bunch of different stuff. And you do get a little insight into the behind the scenes of this towards the end of the film, which is quite impressive. And that's where it's just like, this is amazing. Because it kind of goes from vignette to vignette, doesn't it?
It does.
Of different songs. I probably got halfway through and was like, I'm not really getting much of a story that's making this a film. It's more of just a string of music videos at this point. But then you get a little bit more of the in-between moments, and that's when the story starts to come out and starts to suck you in a little bit more in a different way. It becomes a bit of a self-reflection of his mental state, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does, and I hate to... He doesn't handle it that well, I think.
I can't blame him though.
I'm not making a judgment on him. It's more just it reminded me a bit of Apocalypse Now, really, at the end. But I felt uncomfortable watching him in his darker moments. I thought, this guy is, he needs help. He's all here alone. I hope that he wasn't actually there. I hope he had people he could talk to.
Yeah.
Well, it had been 5 years since he'd performed on stage when this came out. He finished his last special, didn't perform again live. He might have done some small bits, but...
Yeah. It is. I was thinking at how incredibly talented he is, and just the amount of material he comes up with is amazing. And I was thinking, he must have been working on these songs for a while. Surely he didn't write all of these. If he did, like, that's incredible.
And look, even if you don't have Netflix, most of his videos or songs from this special are on his YouTube page for free.
And again, they are legitimately all really funny and all really good songs. And then I don't know, there's that tonal shift that happens that you never quite. You're laughing and then suddenly you're sort of going, "Oh God, what's going to happen next?" kind of thing. It's weird being sort of thrown around like that in a way.
I feel like they do sort of sprinkle in little bits and pieces about this sort of deteriorating, this mentality, and it's really sort of built up quite well as well.
It is. It doesn't come across as like tacky or anything. I just remember, maybe it's because I was getting frustrated because, look, I sat down thinking, oh, Bo Burnham, this will be a great laugh. I need a good laugh. This will be great. When I was laughing, it was great, and so I think I kept getting annoyed, going like, no, just keep doing the laughter bit.
Yeah.
Well, see, I was really glad that it did something else.
Right.
Because
okay.
I'm watching it, it feels like a film. And if it was just going to be song after song, I think I probably would have got bored.
Yeah.
After an hour. It needed that personal connection because it's different to him just standing up on stage and doing stuff. In this case, it needed it, and it did it, where you were drawn in. There was a bit more of a personal, because if he's just singing songs, that is a wall that is standing between you and him in this case. And when it breaks that wall, in a sense, by showing you either side of the songs, what's being done, either preparing for them, reviewing them, there's some self-loathing going on in there as well. It breaks that and it sucks you in, which is what it needed to do and did do. And then that brings you to the point of, how do you give a rating to something where, you know, we do it for films when you're going to have a couple of hundred people working on something. You're reviewing that job as a whole and you go, oh, you know, I like this, but then there's this. And you know that a lot of those people are going to, in a greater sense, want to know what other people think of their work. But in this case, I don't think he cares.
He makes it pretty apparent that he doesn't want feedback. There's a song about... you know, like, what do you think of, like, are you enjoying this, yes or no, but just don't let me know, or whatever the lyric is. I think you're right. I think it was done for him, and I don't think he particularly cares in what feedback he gets, perhaps. I don't know. It's an odd one. It's an interesting one.
I think I probably got more swept up in less the message and less the sort of character journey, and I was watching this film and just wondering how he was making it the entire time. I was paying attention to the gear. I was paying attention to how he was using the gear, what he had there.
Yeah.
And so I was like looking at the camera and going, oh, you can get this sort of this Netflix quality vision out of this mirrorless DSLR. I wonder about these lights. Are they the cheap ones? Like the microphones look pretty cheap as well. Is he doing this all like on the fly? If so, this is fantastic. You can do something Netflix grade and for the
you can do this at home.
Yeah.
But for someone who's by himself, the camera framings are so good.
Yeah.
We do see a lot of digital zoom, so I can only assume that he shot it a lot wider than we're seeing and has then cropped it to what he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can see throughout it that he's got a monitor as well.
Yeah.
And I know this is going to sound like nerd talk at the moment, but it's an external recorder, so you can see what you're doing, you can see what you're recording, you can see your audio levels. So he's using that as his reference all the time.
I feel like I was getting distracted by that, and not like, but I wasn't angry. I was getting distracted by it. I was like, okay, this is cool to see what he's doing.
Well, it shows the creativity that's involved.
Yeah.
It's not the clean cut end result. You're seeing bits and pieces of the making whilst it's going on, which made me engage. There's the point where the camera almost falls over.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
Well, and I agree. For me, the thing that I enjoyed the most out of this, and unfortunately it's probably such a portrayal of what the film's trying to achieve, but I just liked all the pretty lights.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy the little one-man light show he created where he was using like foot pedals and stuff to cue stuff or holding key lights.
And the
headlamps and the disco ball, that kind of that stuff. I got the most out of, and again, like I said, I'm aware that that's like such a, what's the word? That's all,
technical minded sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
like that wasn't there was nothing emotional in that.
Yeah.
Nothing story or character based in that, other than obviously he's using it as metaphors as you do. But I just got a kick out of just seeing the light stuff,
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted more of the songs, because I just know just do the light stuff. I want to see what you can do in one tiny room with white walls with these lights.
Yeah.
Like this is great, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. Really,
Yeah. And he plays with aspect ratios a bit. You know, there's stuff that
Yeah.
looks,
I
you know,
didn't pick up on that.
is going to be easily watched on a mobile device. You know, the little and it's aesthetically beautiful.
yes,
Would you say that?
Yeah, I
and,
would.
And he's using, I know a bit more tech speak, but he's using equipment that is accessible to
Yes.
almost anyone.
Yes.
I did love this idea when I was watching it. Obviously, this is based over 12 months. I love this idea of him making more and more like orders on eBay or Amazon for kit, and it just
Yeah.
like turning up as the film's being made. Because look what I can do with this, you know.
Yeah.
That kind
Oh,
of
here's
thing.
the smoke machine. Yes.
Yeah, and that was really interesting because he's got a fair bit of variety in the
Yeah.
lights he's got,
Yeah.
which was really cool to see him implement all that, especially with projections as well and that kind of thing for such a small space.
Can I just say the editing in this is bang on.
It is, it's
Some of
good.
those cuts
Yeah.
are so well match framed when they cut. It's just like that is seamless.
Yeah,
That is so good. Anyway, we should probably think about what do we want to give this out of 5? 5 watts.
I love
Mirror
well,
balls.
Yeah, mirror balls,
Sparkly lights.
That was quite an impressive moment.
White
of
women's
lighting.
Instagram.
That was such a great song. It was almost like whimsical, but it was so. I don't know if I'm qualified to say this, but it was so accurate.
It was, yeah.
It was great.
I want this as an album on CD.
Yeah, I was thinking
Because some of those songs are absolute bangers.
they are. I was really hoping that he'd release a soundtrack to this, so I could just listen to the songs. Because I love the song about the internet.
Yeah.
which is probably for me feel like the most whole as a complete song as a package. That was terrific. What a fantastic piece of musical comedy. It was great.
Do we come to conclusions?
No,
about
we didn't,
What,
sorry.
what we want to out of 5 watts?
God. Mirror
Degrading mental states.
Yeah.
I think mirror balls.
Mirror balls.
Yeah.
Mirror balls.
Yeah, or it's a hand light or something.
Fold out sofas.
Mental health check-ins.
Yeah, for a film that finishes on a mental health,
Yeah.
statement, leads you to believe that a lot of that's pretty real.
Yeah.
So
Mirror balls.
mirror balls.
balls.
Okay, I'm going to go first on this one, if I may. If I may.
Oh, yes.
Granted, yes.
The thing is, I don't need your permission. I really like this. I was concerned for a bit that it was going to be the same thing, just a song after a song, and the creative endeavor that it takes for him to do this. But the film really shows the passion that he had for this and the stress. And part of me goes, is all of it genuine? Is some of it made up for the camera? But I mean, who am I to judge on that? But if you're in a pretty weak mental state, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to watch it because it may help you, may support you in a way, or it may send you into more of a spiral. I don't know. Is that kind of hard to get?
No, I think if you're a super creative person and you sort of you've been through that before, where someone's gone, just be creative, and you spend the next 12 months, at a real sort of trying to figure out what be creative means. They're going to look at this and go, okay, I really, really empathize. I really understand what's going on here.
Yeah. And part of it I could relate to, because I've spent days preparing for a show where you just forget to eat. You don't see the sunshine.
I've been there.
You're stuck in a dark box. You're doing things creatively and you just think, I've just got to keep doing this. And then before you know it, it's 12 hours later, you haven't moved and you've not eaten. And, that is what this process can do to you. In this case, I don't know that he's stuck in the room the entire time, but, to me, it's really impressive. So this one's going to be 5 mirror balls.
Oh,
5?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm giving this one 5 because, I almost think it's unclassifiable in some sense.
Yeah.
I think we'd say I'd agree. It's a bit sort of genre breaking, especially for a comedy special. for the same reasons as you, I found it difficult to watch in places, which I think is intended, but for me was a shock because I wasn't expecting it. And as a result, I really struggled with seeing some of the heavier moments because I didn't know how to react. I thought, is this gonna be an anti-joke? Is this gonna turn around to be a joke, or am I meant to be feeling bad for him? Like I didn't trust what I was meant to be feeling. I did find it had about 3 different starts. It began 3 different times. Like, had 2 false starts at the beginning for me before it actually was like, oh no, we've actually started now. But I guess, he has to establish what the situation is. He's in this room, that kind of thing. I love the comedy. And I think I'm amazed at the talent that this guy's got. Like, his musical ability and also his writing ability is just amazing. But I found it difficult. I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only because I wasn't ready to be challenged.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to be challenged.
I'm gonna go 4. I think technically this is a pretty brilliant little film.
Yeah.
And a lot of people should feel a little bit inspired to go out and create under difficult circumstances. Comedy didn't really land for me 100% of the time.
It's not exactly a broad audience, is it?
No. There are things in there where I was like, yeah. But like, White Woman's Instagram made me like just burst out laughing. It just did some of those jokes just really didn't land, especially earlier on in the special. But yeah, 4 because I was sort of enthralled with the tech he was using, the gear he was using, and just trying to figure out how he's putting it together. And I thought that was a nice little journey there in and of itself.
Yeah.
I want that camera. And it's expensive. It's only about $5,000, but I feel like that's accessible. I can make something that can appear on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
If you would like to support the Trailer Island podcast and Alex's dreams of buying a camera like that, you can send PayPal or money orders or via the post. Anyway.
Or his OnlyFans.
Yes. Yes, my OnlyFans.
Or join my OnlyFlans where I make pastries.
I'm a member. It's terrific.
It is, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, it really is.
Custard.
Look, there's the music. Hey! Isn't that app? That's excellent. Good timing, everybody. Well, that's 12 out of 15. That's a good solid rating. Is it?
Yeah. I can count.
Thanks, Matthew, for your input. We've been the Trailer Island Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your good podcasts: Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, Deezer, all the good stuff. So tell your friends, let them know that we're available and ready to listen to your requests. What else is there? You can send us an email, contact@trailerisland.com.au. Send us a message via the Facebook page as well, via Instagram, whatever you want to do. We're very accessible, so there's no excuses for not contacting us.
Yes.
All right, yeah, no, take that.
Contact us.
Please contact us.
Why haven't you contacted us? Send a message.
Contact us. We want contact.
Send us a message. Reach for your phone. You've already got the phone on.
Please validate us.
Why don't you open your messages and send us a message? That'd be real nice. Yeah. Hey, we're the Trailer Island Podcast. Thanks for listening. I've been Alex. I've been joined by...
beyondblue.com.au.
Oh. Okay, look, we do actually care about mental health on the podcast.
Which is why.
This is why he's mentioned it.
I can't think of any helplines off the top of my head, so I'll just say I'm Matthew, I guess. I don't know.
The smokers help.
There's Lifeline. That's an Australian one. We're not making. I shouldn't say.
Good night, everybody.
I am not making fun of that. Disaster.
You finished with a fart noise.
People would have enjoyed that.
I'm sure they did.
Everybody loves farts.
This is a Narrative Network podcast.